Good afternoon, all. I welcome you all for the fourth day of the Faculty Development Program, jointly organized by the Department of English, Bharatiya University, and the Department of English of Sri Saraswati THYAGARAJA College. We have got 150 participants. Banu, shall we start the session, Banu? Banu Pritika? Banu Pritika, can we start the session? Sandil sir, am I audible? Am I audible, sir? I cannot hear you. Sir, please unmute your call.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, Banu Pritika, we can hear you. Shall we start the session, Banu?
Yeah, now let us proceed. I hope someone has unmuted all of us. So that's fine.
Okay.
So let's start with this today's program.
Yeah, you may proceed, Banu.
What a better place than here, what a better time than now. With this thought, I, Mrs. Banu Pritika M., Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College, Pollachi, would like to extend my hearty welcome to all of you for the fourth day Faculty Development Program organized by Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College jointly with Department of English and Foreign Language, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore. With a new day comes new strength and new thought. And in this thoughtful moment, I would like to invite Professor Mr. C. Sendil Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College, to present the welcome address. We welcome you, sir.
Sandil Kumar, sir? Sandil Kumar, sir?
Ma'am?
Sir, you may proceed with the welcome address, sir. Yes, sir, you're
Please,
audible.
I'm audible? Yes,
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, okay, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon to you all. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome the chief guests and the participants who are joining us to attend this faculty development program on this fourth day. On behalf of our college and the Department of English, I offer my regards to all the participants in and around India. Next, I bid a warm welcome to the chief guest of the day, Dr. J. Sundar Singh, retired professor of English and PG coordinator, Karunya Institute of Technology and Science, Coimbatore, for having accepted our invitation and to be the chief guest today. He has a vast experience in the same field concerned. He is going to share his experience regarding the professional communication. The schedule of today's FDB will focus on the topic reading and writing skill. I hope this session would enhance our mind and it provides us with the many approaches to deal with the problems of reading and writing skills. I am also eagerly expecting this session. I don't want to swallow your time. Once again, I make a warm welcome to you all. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Banu Pritika?
Yes.
Bhanupratika?
Yeah, now I'm audible.
Yeah, present.
Thank you, Senthil sir.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
Thank you. Yes.
each person must live their life as a role model to others. And today we have such a talented personality, Dr. J. Sundar Singh sir, with us as our chief guest. We are really proud to have you here, sir. Now I would like to invite Ms. I. Vinci Sophia, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College, to give a brief introduction to our chief guest.
Thank you, Banu ma'am. A very warm good evening and heartily welcome to all gathered here. We are honored to have Dr. J. Sundar Singh, Managing Director, Sparkling Educator, Coimbatore, for this program. We are extremely happy to welcome you, sir. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. We are so glad you're here today to show your insights on reading and writing skills. This is the subject we should all be deeply interested to listen. Dr. J. Sundar Singh has acquired an MA and MPhil degree in English from Bharathidasan University, a doctoral degree from Bardia University. His doctoral research has been in the area of linguistics. He worked in various institutions, namely MGR College in Hosur, Vaisya College in Salem, and Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Coimbatore. He has varied designations, namely senior lecturer, assistant professor, associate professor, and professor till 2020. He has got 25 years of teaching experience, both in arts and science and technical institutions. He has taught various courses for UG and PG programs like General English, Creative English, and Professional English, and also taught courses for International Language Certification for Beck, Cambridge University. He took new initiatives and roles in the most recent institutions for the establishment of PG and research department in English, proofread the annual reports, NAC reports, and UGC reports, established English language lab, and designed a lab manual to train students in LSRW skills, etc. He has published 10 research papers in Scopus publication and 31 papers in other peer-reviewed publications. He has published 2 books, namely Communication Skills and Student Manual for English Language Lab English series. He has produced 11 PhDs on various topics related to language and literature. Currently, he is giving guidance to 6 PhD scholars and 8 MPhil scholars on various topics related to literature. He has organized several national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. He has got membership roles in academic administration, curriculum designing, teaching and assessment, education management, professional content writing, documentation, and international collaborations. He is currently in the position of Managing Director, Sparkling Educator, Profession Support Network, etc. Coimbatore, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. With this short note of introduction to the chief guest, we're honored and privileged by your presence on this occasion, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm thankful to the English department, SREE SARASWATI THYAGARAJA College and Bharathidasan University for this opportunity. I'm thankful to Dr. Das and Dr. Nagaraj for inviting me to give a talk today. Good evening to everyone. Okay, I'll start the session. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, I can share the screen. I think.
Okay. Yes. I'm given the topic reading and writing skills. This I did not choose, but I'm given this topic. Anyway, I'll try to do justice to the topic that is given, and also ensure that I share some of my experiences, which may be useful for the teachers, especially the young teachers. The plan for today's session, I'll be showing you 2 videos. I think they'll be boring. Along with that, I'll give you an activity. While watching these videos, you have to do an activity. And then we will move on to the general observation on reading and writing skills. I want to have a small interaction with you in the form of asking question, answering, and so on. And then I'd like to go into some of the linguistic views, not going in detail into all the linguists, their ideas, because not many have spoken on specifically reading and writing. Generally, they have spoken more on language acquisition. In this context, this will be relevant. So I'll be looking at some of their ideas, which I was very much fascinated towards, and also which I used in my classroom. And then I'll also show you one slide on international exam focus. This is necessary in this particular context because I'll be talking to you about reading and writing. And then I'll show you a few slides, about 5 to 6 slides on possible reading and writing activities. These I have taken from a Cambridge model, one of the Cambridge exams. From that I have taken. This format will be very ideal to this particular context. So I have taken that. So we'll be spending some time on that, discussing this Cambridge model. After that, I'll be giving you my views, completely my views, because last 25 plus years, I've been teaching language in different way. I love classroom innovation. I have written few articles on that. I just want to share with you what is that I think this writing is, or reading is. Maybe controversial, but still I just want to share with you these points. And then finally, we will enter into the discussion part. Okay. We'll go to the videos now. See, I'll be showing you 2 videos. Number one, about reading. The first video that runs for about 12 minutes. It is an activity. The video is an activity. There are 3 activities in the video. I want you also to do the activity, and then you can check the answers with the answers that are shown in the video. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, sir. We can start, sir. Yes, sir. We can start.
Yeah. Maybe in the chat box, you can give your reactions, whatever that you feel. And also during the session, whatever the question comes to your mind, you can quickly type it on the chat box so we can discuss now and then, or towards the end of the session, we can discuss that. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This video is for about 12 minutes. There are 3 different reading activities. As you listen, you also do the exercise. There are 5 questions at the end of each activity. Do it. After that, we'll have a discussion on this. Okay, move on to the second video. In the previous video, there is one more activity. At the end of the activity, the person who is doing this reading says, "Hope you all got a perfect score." And then the video ends with clapping of hands, clapping for the participants. That's how that ends. Anyway, want of time, I'm moving on to the next video. Anyway, we'll try to see the end of the previous video maybe after some time. Now I'll show you the second one. The first two exercise, I think some of you would have done. You can see the score for yourself. Okay. Yeah, we go to the next video.
Sir, no sounds come, sir. No sound. Sir, no
Yes?
sound comes.
Okay, what about the previous one? Previous one, you were able to...
No, sir. Previously, we did not hear the sound.
Oh my God.
We thought it was only reading comprehension. So,
Okay. Can you hear now?
no, sir. We don't hear. We don't see any videos. The screen is there, but we don't see any videos.
Sound is there. Huh?
No sound, sir. No sound.
Sir, this is screen is black and also no sound.
Okay.
Technical features.
I thought you all were...
It will happen, sir. Technical features will be there.
Yeah, can you...
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now we are able to.
Can you hear now?
Yeah. No, not voice, not here.
No, sir. Only
You are seeing the video, but not able to hear the audio.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Writing 10 writing activity for English class. Okay.
Sir, come out of the PPT and select only the video, sir, so that it can be the only individual thing.
Come out of the...
Sir, PPT, then you can play video alone, sir. You have a separate file, no, sir, video file. You please play that video, sir. That can be shared. That can be shared.
That particular screen share can be shared, sir, so that we'll hear the audio, sir.
Can you hear now?
No, sir. No video comes, sir. You are selecting now. It has to be played.
No, can you hear?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You don't hear now.
Just 1 minute. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you hear now?
Sir, no, sir. We don't hear the sound.
No, sir. No idea, sir.
No?
Sir, now we don't hear, sir. So now the sound comes.
It is coming, sir. Now the sound is here.
Now it's audible, sir.
Sir, when the video played, the sound came, sir. Now the video is stopped now.
Oh, can you hear now? Hello? Can you hear?
No, sir. No.
Sir, we can't hear
No,
anything,
sir.
sir.
Video is paused, sir.
We can't hear anything.
Sir,
No,
you
can
have
you
to
hear
check
me?
system
Can you
sound.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are hearing.
Okay, right. Now I'll play the video towards the end. You will see something. Please look at it, and then I'll go back to the second video. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Ten writing activities for English class. Writing is such an important skill that we should not overlook the value it has for our students. Writing reinforces their understanding of English and improves vocabulary. It increases knowledge, creativity, and imagination. So in today's video, I will
Sir, audio is stopped, sir.
interesting topics to write about. You can download 60 really
Okay, sir.
fun
Okay, now okay, sir.
for free in the description below. Number 2, classroom graffiti. Set up 4 chart paper stations around the room with the following titles: conflicts, character traits, settings, and themes. Break the class into 4 groups and have each group go to one of the stations. The group members work together to graffiti the page with potential conflicts, character traits, settings, and themes that could emerge in a fictional story. Then have them circulate to the next station and repeat the process. When they are done, have each student select one character trait, one conflict, one setting, and a theme from the graffitied pages to develop a unique narrative. If students are lower level, you can use different stations like characters, actions, objects, and descriptive words. Number 3, ask the oracle. Every player has to write one question which they want the oracle to answer at the top of the page. Now, every writer has to pass their papers to the person on their left. That student has to write the answer to the question. Now the writers have to conceal the question written at the top portion by folding it and then pass it on to the person on their left. This step is tricky but interesting. Every writer has to write a possible question after reading the previous answer they see in the paper. The same rounds continue till the bottom of the page and end with an answer. All the writers unfold their papers to read their original question, the answers they've received, and everything in between. Number 4, a how-to paragraph for aliens. Students have to write clear instructions for an alien to impersonate them. For example, write clear instructions for the alien on how to go to school in the morning. The alien should be able to impersonate you exactly without getting caught. This assignment asks students to think over something that is second nature to them. They must break down actions and describe them. Students must not only think about what they do, but how they do it. Number 5, watch a video. You can use your own video, but as an example, I'll use this one. It's from Coca-Cola, and it displays the differences between today's life and the past by showing a grandfather and grandson's life side by side. First, put the students into pairs and then they watch the video. Then ask them questions. Start easy. What's your favorite drink? What did you see in the video? What differences were there? How is your life different from your grandparents? Then watch it again. Each pair should write down the differences they see. Students construct sentences. Give them an example sentence. In the past, people brought their lunch to work. Today, people buy lunch. Finally, tell the students to apply some of the ideas from the board to write an essay on how life has changed. Encourage them to use examples from their own lives in their writing. Number 6, descriptive writing. The aim is for students to write about a single chosen object. In this exercise, we use a cube to ask 6 kinds of questions about an item to help them describe it. Each question gives students a different way to look at an idea or object. The answers generate lots of information, which helps students add depth and detail to their writing. Describe. What is the idea? What does the object look like? Describe it with words about the senses. Compare. Is it similar to something else? Contrast. How is it different from others? What makes it unique? Analyze. Divide the whole thing into smaller parts. Apply. How can it be used? Who uses it? What can we learn from it? And argue. What do you think about it? Is it good? Is it bad? Right? Or with reasons? Number 7, write about 2 seasons. Explain which season you like the most and which season you like the least. In order to help students write fully developed paragraphs, have them think of all the things that they can write about. What do they do during summer but not winter? What is the weather like? Remind students to appear. Hand each student a sheet of paper. Ask them to write a story from the top. Then play music and tell students to write according to the mood of the music. African drumming, pop, Star Wars theme, classical, whatever works for you. They write any story they want. When you stop the music, they pass the paper to the person next to them, who reads it and then continues the story. The longer this activity lasts, the more time they will need to read the story. So I suggest you limit each story to 5 or 6 turns. Otherwise, it gets too long. Number 9, association game. Play an association game with your students. Tell them a word and ask them to create an association chain for it. For example, airport, travel, holidays, fun, party, night, moon, space, and so on. Each word should be connected to the last, but there doesn't need to be a general theme to it. Ask the students to write a story using all of their own words. Number 10, write a report about a real event. Give students a newspaper, let them share it in a group and pick a news story to write about. They can rewrite an article in their own words, although this might lead to a bit of plagiarism. Or write it from another perspective. Like if it's a sport, they do it from a player's point of view, or they can write a letter to the editor. Later, you can even let the students present their reports in front of class and answer questions about the material. If you would like to watch another video for English teachers, you can watch this video right here.
Yeah. Right. Can you hear my voice now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. We have seen 2 videos. Actually, it should be for 14 minutes, but we lost about 30 minutes because of my ignorance on the use of this video anyway. Okay, in the first video, you would have observed few things, and then the second one, you observed some more information. I just want to know whether you liked these 2 videos. Can you rate these videos, which one you like the most? Any? Yeah. Some people say first, some say second, some say both. Reading, when you say second, reading first, both were useful. Okay. Reading comprehension, both. Okay, we're teaching both. We may take, as we are teaching both, we can take both. Yeah, both. Yeah, some of you say both. Okay, some say first, some say second. Yeah, there are reasons for that, for liking either the first one or the second one. In the first video, we had only second better than first one. Okay. Yeah, reading comprehension is good for youngsters, right? Very good. Yes. It's good for adult also, to some extent. Anyway, yeah. See, in the first question examination, that says, read the passage and answer the questions given below. Read the passage. Answer. One sentence or two sentence answer. Some of us followed certain techniques like
Sir, your voice is not heard, sir. Your voice is not clear, sir.
that all of
Actually,
us
voice is breaking, sir.
were forced to. Hello?
Sir, your
Sir,
voice
your
is
voice
breaking,
is
sir.
breaking.
Okay.
No breaking.
Now? Now?
Now it is clear, sir. You can proceed.
Okay. So that's how we all did our reading. Teachers asked us to read the passage and answer the question. We all answered that way. And in the process, we all lost a reading habit. And slowly, we lost the comprehension also. In the first video, the focus was on reading and then answering question. The passages were easy, or if you have observed the passages properly, you would have seen the questions were carefully selected. They focused on all the 4 types of reading: collecting data, skimming, canning, and reading for information. All these points were followed for while making these 5 questions. The passage was simple, but still followed these particular techniques, and the questions were prepared. By the end of the that particular video, it shows that it's perfect. Just a clapping of hands. That's it. That's how reading is done. In the second video, it's an excellent video that used the activities of David Noonan or Rod Ellis and many great men and women. Their ideas were adopted for this particular video. For this gentleman used these different activities and used those activities as sample to make his own activities. All 10 excellent activities that would develop somebody's reading in an effective way. But he was speaking, we had a video, we had a lot of variety of video. We had this one talking more. But finally, what is that we learned? We have learned certain things. Whether this activity, if they are done in the classroom, how much of our effort is required? So that we have to think. The first video, during the activity, our effort is nil. The second video, the effort that the teacher puts in is much more. Do you agree with that or not? But before you start anything, you have to put in a lot of effort for preparing the activity for reading. But in the writing part, you have to do a lot of preparation, and also in the classroom, you have to do a lot of supporting things like guiding them, directing them, teaching them, do a lot of things. So this is what we see that as a problem. So when you say reading and writing, you have a problem in both, but still, and one more thing, in the first video, there was any oral instruction, no oral instruction. If you see the first slide in the video, it shows very clearly you are going to read. If you read properly, you will comprehend the information properly and answer the questions correctly. This is what reading is all about. When you read, you understand it and then use it for your benefit. So this is about reading. But when it comes to writing, it is about conveying your information for different context. Then you have a problem with your writing. Okay. So you want to share anything in the chat box? Reading followed by writing will be very effective in classroom teaching. Okay, correct? Yeah, reading and writing, they are connected. Any other idea that you want to share? Quickly, 1 or 2 ideas on the chat you can share, please. Writing is very good to develop some skills in grammar, pronunciation, and building vocabulary. Okay. Any other input? Writing comes after reading. Writing is definitely good as it gives us a practice of what we read. Reading affects personality. Correct. Okay, thank you. Right. So what is reading? What do you mean by reading? What do you mean by reading? Is it a skill or ability? Is it a skill or ability? Yeah, somebody raised hand. You want to say something?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody raised hand. You want to say something? Okay, it's a skill, but it needs to be basic learning skill. Reading is a skill. Reading is a skill. Able the skill. Skill, the action. Reading is a skill. Okay, so is it comparable with any other skill which we use for making a car or making some other metals, ornaments, and so on? Can you compare this with any other skill that is used for technical purposes? Somebody is saying ability. If you say skill, can you compare it with other technical skills? Somebody making a car, somebody making some ornaments. So can you compare that way? No? Yes? Okay, we hear a lot of yes and no. Skill, a language, there is a field, language production, that comes in linguistics. So it talks about producing in language. You are producing in language. Like producing a car, you are also producing something in language. So when you say skill, you are actually producing something out of that. You do the reading, and after reading, you are going to use it for a particular purpose. So any skill that is used for a particular purpose, you can call it a skill. Ability, reading ability, that is also acceptable because There are, Noam Chomsky talks about ability. So it's about inherent ability. It is an inherent ability. You have inherent ability that you are using it. Writing and speaking are productive skills. Reading is input and writing is output in computer parlance, right? So these are some of the ideas that you are sharing. Okay, thank you very much. So you can say this is skill and also an ability. So when you say reading, you are talking about a comprehension or just reading? Is it only about reading? Most of the time we say reading comprehension. Or should we correct ourselves and say reading and comprehension? Is it reading comprehension or reading and comprehension? Okay, comprehensive reading is a skill, all playing with the words. Fine, thank you. Right, so we have to say reading and comprehension. So we cannot, we should not confuse this particular comprehension part of reading. You do the reading and you comprehend. So you have a step. It's a process. Communication is a process. Language is a process. Language learning is a process. Acquisition of a language is a process. So when you say process, it has to go through a stage. It goes through stages only. As young adult, young children, we all learn that way. I mean, we started with identifying objects with some words, some sounds. Then slowly we started learning words and then sentences. So that's how we all learned. So it's step by step. The same way, when you are talking about reading, the reading has to end with a comprehension of something. So it should be reading and comprehension. Okay. One more question. Do you learn or acquire a skill? Do you learn or acquire a language skill? Is it acquisition or learning? You're learning, acquire language skills. After learning, we acquire language acquisition, language learning. Acquire and then you learn. First language we learn or we acquire. First language, do we learn or acquire? Second language, learning. Yeah, some are saying second language learning. First language, acquisition. Just a minute, one person has given some, yeah. Yeah, I lost one. Reading comprehension, no. Okay, the acquisition of reading skill is very much dependent on language development. Okay, fine. So you acquire the first language, you learn the second language. You acquire the reading and also you learn the reading. When it comes to learning in a systematic way or learning for an academic purpose, you do the learning part. The acquisition part is something that is natural. It comes to you. You acquire the language as it comes to you. But there are some linguists who say that first language, in the same way you acquire the first language, you can acquire the second language also. So this is some idea that people are saying. Anyway, now our idea is only on reading and writing. So these two, reading and writing, we acquire and also we learn. Okay, do you do it voluntarily or by guidance when you are learning it? at the academic level? It's a big question. It's a big question. People who make huge activities, after doing a lot of research, they fail in the classroom. Because maybe about 10 to 20% of the students acquire effectively. And remaining students, they don't do well. Their performance is below average. The activity is excellent, the teacher is good, everything is given properly, but still we fail in the classroom. We all know the reason for that. So this particular way, things are happening in the classroom. So these are some of the questions that we need to ask. And then we also need to ask, what is the purpose of reading? What is the purpose of reading? It's another big question. What is the purpose of reading? If I know the purpose, then nobody needs to teach me a reading skill. If I know the purpose of reading, nobody needs to teach me the reading skill. What is the purpose of writing? This is another question. We ask a question in the examination, students write some other answer that we never expected. We ask a question in the interview, and the candidates answer give the answer that we never expected. So what is the purpose of writing? This again, people have the problem. We need to know the purpose. If we know the purpose, our reading or writing will be proper. Okay. Go to the next slide. These are some of the linguists say. I'm just trying to put it in a simple term. Jean Piaget, he says that we learn by seeing, observing things. There are a lot of things happening around us at the society. Through that we learn. This is the early stage of our learning. Then slowly, step by step, we acquire the other aspects of language. Chomsky says this is the inherent ability that we are using to acquire or learn. So it is automatic. Our acquisition of language is automatic. David Crystal, he talks specifically about reading. He says that it should be associated with the comprehension only. Otherwise, reading is of no use. David Noonan, he through this particular diagram says that reader and the text, they are important for any reading to take place. This reading should be done effectively using various strategies and also the fluency. So you use strategies for various purposes of reading. And this fluency helps you to read effectively. So these aspects, these four, reader, the text, the fluency, and strategy, impact somebody's reading. Okay, I just want to show you these particular different international exams, because in all these exams, either general English or academic English or professional English, they test all the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So reading and writing are considered skills, and they are assessed in all the international exams, and also in international curriculum. In all these general English, academic English, and professional English, they focus on reading and writing. So you have a systematic scientific way of assessing this reading and writing. So people can easily be assessed for their ability, reading and writing ability. Okay, this particular slide that I told you, these reading activities I have taken from Cambridge, two different exam format. One is Cambridge Advanced English format. The other one is Business English format. From these two I have taken because for about 15 years I've been training students for various international examinations. I have taught different exams like CAE, FCE, YLE, KET, PET, BEC, and so on, OET, and so on. So these are different examinations for which we prepared students. So I have seen all the curriculum, all these curriculum. From this, I have taken two specific format, one from Cambridge Advanced English, the other one from Business English preliminary level. Preliminary level, that is B1 level, and this particular C1 level. You as teachers, you can use these formats when you prepare the... Yeah, can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You can use these formats as the format for all levels and prepare your material for reading and writing. This includes all kinds of texts. You know, when we say reading, teaching reading and teaching writing, we have to use variety of texts. For example, commerce students. If we are teaching reading to commerce students, we have to use the material that is relevant to commerce students. We can use some material that is relevant to chemistry students in the commerce classroom. You teach chemistry students reading, you have to take a text that is relevant to the chemistry students. In the same way, psychology or sociology or history, anybody, you take literature students, you have to use the text that is relevant to the literature students, so that the students will have some interest towards reading. The text, the content that is relevant to their field will definitely influence them, that will inspire them to do the reading. So these particular task types can be used in your classroom for preparing the reading activities. You can give multiple choice closed test using idioms, collocation, fixed phrases, and so on, phrasal verbs, semantic precision. So identify these things, and you have to give some multiple choice questions. Open closed test, wherein the awareness and control of grammar with some focus on vocabulary should be the focus. Again, you can give a test containing gap filling, wherein you have to give, again, multiple choice. Word formation, vocabulary, in particular, the use of affixation, internal changes, compounding in word formation, and so on, that can be given. And then word transformation, wherein you can use grammar, vocabulary, collocation. So these kind of test can be given from the passage. Multiple choice, again, details, giving the details that come in the particular passage, opinions, attitude, about tone, the purpose, what is the tone of the author, the main idea, what is the implication, the organizational features of a particular text. So complete comprehension. Cross-text multiple matching, wherein you focus on understanding our opinion and attitude, comparing and contrasting our opinions, attitudes across text, and so on. Gap text, wherein cohesion, coherence, the connectors, how the linkers can be used. So those kind of exercise can be given. Multiple matching, wherein details, opinion, attitude, specific information, which can be used. So these 8 types of questions, all these particular text and the questions are there on the internet. If you go to Cambridge support site, Cambridge Assessment English, wherein you can find the complete text, the reading text with this different question, the format. You can use it and prepare your own material. This is what we did. We prepared our own material. Using this format, we prepared our own material. If you ask me, you can take the task-based language teaching books of David Noonan, Rod Ellis, N.S. Prabhu, and they have given a lot of activities. And based on those activities, you can prepare your own activities. We did those activities, and we used to give those activities to the students based on only this format. Use this format, prepare your own activities using your own innovation. So that will help you, because you can't use somebody else's activity. You should know the activity so that you teach the students correctly. So preparing activities should be the part of the teacher. Format can be anybody's. These are all standard format, which can be easily used. About writing, this is the communicative English writing part. The reading, whatever that I have shown you, that is for general English. General English, okay? So this is for general English writing part. You know, all our writing comes and we either write short passages or a long passage. We write a paragraph, we write an essay. We write short answer, we write a novel. We write books and so on. So all this short writing, long writing, we do either this or that. When it comes to short writing, it is more specific. You focus on 1 or 2 points. The long piece, you focus on, maybe you have 10 points. You want to write about that. You have a very big story that would impact a society. You write a novel. You have come up with a great idea about a particular aspect in literature or in science and so on. You write a book about it. Whatever it may be, your writing should focus on the purpose for which you are writing. So here in the classroom, we can give exercise like this. Writing an essay with a discursive focus wherein you ask the candidates to write an essay based on 2 points in the input text. You can give 2 points, either this or that. Do you agree with this point or not? Do you think this is the best way to do these things? So you need to give some prompt which will enable the learners to think about it and come up with ideas, solutions. So they have to give their reasons and opinions. So you have to prepare a question in such a way that will enable the learners to think about it and give their opinions. You need to take familiar topics so that they will think about it. Then the short one, letter is common. Everybody uses. Emails, proposal writing, report writing, review writing. So everyone writes, but nobody writes properly. Even the letter writing, people, those who studied in very good schools and colleges, still they do not know the format. They do not know the different elements of a letter, and they make a lot of mistakes. So these need to be taught. Email writing. So what should be the tone when you write an email? So what is the formal language? What is the informal language? So many people do not know. So these all should be taught. So the basic things are these reports, reviews, proposals, letters, short messages, emails, and so on. So all kinds of writing, all kinds of writing fall under these 2 categories. Number 1, share your opinions, ideas, even about writing an essay in the examination. You are giving your understanding. So we have to ask a question in such a way that will enable the learner to think. So the question should make the learner to think. So if it makes the learner think, then they will definitely share their opinion. So the question should be, that's why I said you have to prepare writing prompts, and that should be used in the classroom. The writing prompt can be even 1 page. In some of my activity, I give the students 1 page prompt. 1 page with I give the context, and then I tell them what are that they should do, and then what is my expectation. I give everything. So you can give in detail so that the students get some idea out of what you're saying, and then present their ideas in the written form. So that's how this should be given. Sorry. We now come to the professional English. For this, I used business English preliminary. That's ideal format. This can be used for all students from 10th standard onwards till PG level students. This can be used. Multiple choice, wherein you focus on understanding short real world notices, messages. From that you can ask question. Ask them to read properly. Matching, the detailed comprehension of factual material, skimming and scanning to be done. You need to have timing also so that they do it quickly. Matching, interpreting visual information, you can give graph, some table wherein they need to interpret and present their ideas, compare, contrast, and so on. And then right, wrong doesn't say kind of thing, wherein you give a material with some factual information. Then you make statements and ask the students to say whether it is right or wrong. That will make them think critically and answer. Multiple choice, wherein you give the reading for just specific information. So you can give a text followed by 3 option multiple choice question, wherein they identify which one is correct. And then multiple choice closed test, wherein grammatical accuracy and understanding of text structure. So you test their grammar here. Again, it is only multiple choice. Note completion, wherein the reading and the transferring of information. So coming to professional writing. Again, here you have the internal communication, you have short note, message, memo, email, and so on. Giving instructions, how to give instruction, how to arrange appointments, asking for permission, and so on. The other one is longer one, wherein the students can be asked to write a letter or a report or a email and so on. This also I have taken from Cambridge, Business English Preliminary, wherein you have the complete format with the text and the question. You can use that format, that model, and prepare your own material. That will definitely help the students to do the reading effectively. You give them 10 different reading passages using this particular format. You can see the students improving. I have seen that, students improving in their comprehension. I have seen students improving in their writing ability. So you can use this format. This is a standard format that can be used. You can prepare your own material. And these books also have different exercises. About 50 different exercises are there. Same exercise can also be used in your classroom. Okay, now coming to my views on reading and writing, I just jot down some ideas, whatever that I got, that I'm convinced of. I'm sharing those things with you about reading and writing. Reading, I think it is passive. Read for ourselves. It is passive. We read certain things undisturbed, right? We can even read in the classroom. We read in isolation. We read in quiet places. we read whatever that we want to read. It is passive. Passive. But this passive can be activated in context. So you have writing. So you do the reading and then use it for your writing and also speaking. The better the reading, effective your writing and speaking will be. So passive and active. Most of the time, we are not able to use our passive vocabulary. The person who has completed his graduation has enough vocabulary, enough sentence structure to speak, write effectively at the independent user level. But still, we are not able to do it because most of our passive skills are not activated. Our passive skills are not activated. We don't find context. We don't find the situation to activate our passive skills. That's the reason why most of us are not able to speak well. All our passive skills lie idle and they die. And after some time, that's the reason why international exams, they say every 2 years you have to take up the examination. The reason is, if you're not going to activate the passive skill that you have, that will die. Some of the vocabulary that we know we have die, they go down because they have never been used. That's the reason why all our reading should be activated. That's the reason why teachers say, and we also say to our children, read, come on, read. You have to read, go on reading. So the reading helps you to have more information. So when you have more information, you will definitely start using them. The reason we don't have enough information, that's why we are not able to use them. Right. Reading benefits oneself. Phonics education at the young children level, even at the adult level, say for example, Japanese language or French or German, they also use this technique even to teach the adult. They make the learners learn the language in the way they learn the first language. They use only French to teach French, German to teach French, German, and so on. So it benefits oneself. You learn your pronunciation, how to pronounce words, how to identify the characters of the alphabet, and then comprehend the information. The writing benefits others, conveying the information. That is writing skill. So when somebody starts writing, they have to think that it is written for somebody else. So it's conveying the information, then they will write properly. Reading is a competency process. Competency, that is the acquisition process. The linguistic competence. Reading is something to do with the linguistic competence. You acquire, you gain something. That is reading skill. Writing is something to do with the performance, conveying, writing, sharing, and so on. So that's the execution part, writing. Reading helps someone to improve prediction and critical thinking. So these two are necessary for our life, for anything that we do at the professional level or at every level. So the prediction part is necessary so that we understand something properly, and also critical thinking will help us to evade the danger and so on. Writing improves the ability to express oneself. Okay, this is my understanding. We have to teach young learners, not adult learners. Reading skill should be taught to young learners, not adult learners. Adult learners are the people who have already learned the language to some extent, and then student, but it was a flop. You can't teach reading skill. But young learners, yeah, excellent, excellent. Sorry to say that, because we have difficulty writing. So writing should be maybe some 60 to 70% on writing. The remaining 30% on speaking. So most of the time we should focus on writing, because our students have a problem with their writing. Lot of problems. Even in just understanding the question, they have problem. So the reading and writing should go together. We should spend more time on writing. Testing part. For adult learners, we should not teach them. We should test them. In reading, we should do only testing. The assessment should be done. We have to give them exercise, do the assessment. In every reading class, you have to do only the assessment. If you do that, then the adult learners will start automatically activating their all the passive skills. So testing to be done for young and adult, but for adult, you need not teach young people, you have to teach reading. Writing, testing should be done for both. And then reading, lesson plan is difficult, because before you give the exercise, you have to prepare a lot of things. But writing, you have to prepare only a prompt, just a situation. So that's what we all think, that's how we have been doing it. So as far as lesson plan is concerned, the writing part may be easy in comparison with the reading part. Reading, do not teach except pronunciation. You have to teach them the phonic aspect of it. Young children, how to identify the character, teach them, and then the words, the pronunciation, and so on. And in writing, we have to teach them grammar. Lot of grammar should be taught in writing. Most of the time, we make the children write. We make the students write. Give them the situation, ask them to write, and then in random, we look at that and give them mark. It's not like that. We have to teach them grammar. In writing, we have to teach them grammar. In reading, we have to give them test. In reading, we should give them test. In writing, we should give them grammar. Reading guidance, if required, you can give. Otherwise, you need not give any guidance. Only if it is required, you can give guidance. But in writing, we need to guide frequently. Even at graduate level, we have to guide the students frequently. Otherwise, they will not develop their writing skill. So reading, we need to allow continuous reading. If you say in one semester, you have 10 hours for reading, 10 hours for reading, teaching reading skill. All 10 hours, you can allow the students to read and do the test. 60 minutes, you give them 40 minutes of reading, then 20 minutes of assessment. In writing, we have to allow the students to have a proofreading. Proofreading. We don't do the proofreading in the classroom. We ask the students to write, we collect them and we go. We don't ask them to proofread. They have to read. Sometimes we ask the students to exchange the paper and read. That is also a failure. We have to ask the students to proofread, read their own paper, make the correction. And if we do that, maybe the first time they may not do it. First time we have to guide them, tell them how to do the proofreading. And the second time, third time, fourth time, they will start doing it on their own. End of the session, end of the semester, they will show a lot of improvement in their writing. So in reading, while teaching reading, you have to allow continuous reading by the students in the classroom and outside the classroom. In writing, you have to allow continuous proofreading by the students themselves. So they will improve their writing. So prolific reader will be a proficient writer. Okay, some of the possible activities. As I told you earlier, you have to use different types of passages for reading. You have 10 sessions in a semester. In 10 different sessions, you have to go to the classroom with the 10 different passages from, say, for example, you can take a passage from a particular scientific journal. You can take a passage from a textbook that is prescribed for those students. History students, from their own textbook, you can take a passage. Or you can take, even for history students, you can take some technical passage. Say, for example, making a car, there will be a passage. You take that to the classroom and teach them. So 10 different types of passages to any student. Any student, they will have they will have interest, they will become curious, and they will do the reading. And then writing also, you need to give a lot of writing prompts so that they, in different context. It should be informal, professional, technical, everything. 10 sessions, you can give 1 or 2 informal, 3 or 4 professional, and then few technical, wherein writing reports, reviews, letters, emails can be taught. So this is how we have to plan and give them the situation. And in the reading part, allow the learners to read, as we discussed earlier. You have to provide only the pronunciation and semantic support, meaning of words, how to pronounce words, and then tell them the meaning of words if it is required. Or you can simply ask the student to refer to dictionary or use their mobile and find out the meaning and so on. So you cannot teach in the classroom. Writing part, you have to teach them simple and complex sentences. Very, very important. Simple and complex sentences. Many students use simple and compound sentence. It's of no use. It's of no use. If they go for any kind of exams, international exams, or if they go for a job, they write reports. Their reports will not have any standard if they are not able to use complex sentences. Cohesive devices, because they need to write 2 or 3 paragraphs or linking. They even do not know how to link the sentences, link the paragraphs. So this should be taught. Phrases, idioms, nobody uses. And then the punctuation, nobody cares for it, punctuation. So in writing, these 4 parts should be focused. If these 4 are taught, we need not go into parts of speech, this and that. Teach these 4 parts, 4 aspects. Then the students will improve their writing. We spend 1 or 2 hours teaching them articles. No use. Reading. Assess frequently using only content comprehension based and language use based questions. You have to assess how much understanding has taken place and how much of understanding of the linguistic part has taken place. So these 2 are important. So you have to ask questions. If you're asking 10 questions after a passage, 5 should be on grammar part, and 5 should be on the content part, the comprehension part, the understanding of the passage, 5 questions, and then the use of language, another 5 questions. Writing, assess focusing on grammatical error and the problems in the flow of thoughts. Grammatical error, if it is not very obvious, if it is not glaring, fine. If it is awkward, horrible, right? There is a huge problem with the grammar. You can talk about that. And then the flow of thoughts. So they should show that they have understood the question in writing. If they are not able to show that they have understood the question, no use. You cannot, you need not correct those papers because it's a huge failure on the question part. So the student should be able to show that they have understood the question and they are giving the answer. So the flow of thoughts and the grammar part, these two should be the focus of our assessment when it comes to writing. This I do not know about the qualitative and quantitative assessment. What I have understood is qualitative is you have to go into every detail, every specific. Say, for example, for one comprehension passage, you are asking 50 questions. All 50 questions are important. All 50 questions are important. All 50 questions should be answered. In other words, I'll say all 50 questions should be multiple choice. All 50 questions should be objective, fully multiple choice, objective type questions. When it comes to writing, we have to look at grammar, we have to look at flow of thoughts, but we need to look at the overall performance. How much of information is conveyed? How much of language is used? How much of language is used? Here, we should not identify the mistake. We have to identify the positive part, positive aspect. In writing, when we do the assessment, in overall assessment, we have to look at the positive aspect. We have to look at how much of language is used, how much of information is conveyed. We have to look at that way and then evaluate each writing piece. When it comes to reading, we have to assess every aspect of reading. If we do this particular way, we can easily see the students improving in their reading and writing. So as I said now, the question should be objective only. In writing, it should be descriptive only. In writing, it should be descriptive. In reading, it should be objective. So reading and writing are complementary to each other and equal weightage should be given. So both are important. Reading makes a link with the writing. So your writing will show how much of reading you have done. But the assessment part is something that we need to focus on as teachers. If we do that in a maybe not, may not be or should not be in the final examination or during the continuous assessment. When you do the continuous assessment,
Sir, can we continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can invite audience to discuss.
Okay, sir. Sir, we
you
thank
can
you
put
for
it
an
on the chat
innovative
box.
session. It
Yeah.
was a highly innovative session for us. And now a well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers. Now let's move to the interaction session and discussion forum is open up. So the audience can ask the questions to sir.
You can unmute your mic and you can ask one by one, please.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
I'm Naveen Dias from Bangalore. I just want to ask sir a question. Should grammar be taught in context or in isolation?
In context, definitely in context, not in isolation.
Could you elaborate on
it
this?
Should be taught in context only.
Could you elaborate on this?
Sorry?
Could you elaborate on this?
Yeah. Say, for example, somebody doing mechanical engineering wants to learn a language for a particular purpose. He wants to learn language only to convey his subject. So in those contexts, we need to teach them some of the technical grammar. Say, for example, chemistry students, how to use impersonal passive effectively. And then how to use some of the structures that sentence structures that will help them to convey their information, of course, complicated information in a simple way. So these kind of thing should be taught to them. We can't teach them literature or any other general English. We have to teach them the technical English. Otherwise, it is of no use for them.
How can we teach the L2 or foreign language to direct method or such as the we teach language?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
What can we do?
Voice is breaking. We can't hear.
Yes, sir. We can't get your question. Your voice is breaking a lot.
Hello, my question is that in which language we will talk the L2 language?
Can you type your question in the chat box? Please type your question in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Because your voice is breaking.
You are quite audible, sir.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes.
Ma'am, go ahead with your questions. As we are running short of time, we'll have 1 or 2 questions and rest of the other participants can text in the chat box.
Good evening, sir. This is Dr. Raghuram speaking. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sir, with regard to the language proficiency, especially in English language proficiency, and old style, we used to read a lot in front of the mirror, practice, so that we can read a lot for this. But nowadays, youngsters, they are not doing that. This is point number 1.
Yeah.
Point number 2 also, the writing. You have mentioned very nicely, writing is, grammar is very important thing. Nowadays, they are all using the broken English. Ha, yeah. And then they are not coming with the full sentence. Anything else, YOW, something, they use the proper words. This cannot be avoided. But thereby, their proficiency is reduced. Their proficiency in English writing and speaking also reduced there. To increase this proficiency, even though we teach in the class about this English grammar and also whenever possible, we teach them for the students, everything else. But they are not in a position to observe, they are not in a position to speak. Is there any other method other than the teaching method? Either we teach or they should practice. Is there any other method?
Stuck.
Hello?
Yeah.
Are you able to listen, sir?
Towards the end, I couldn't hear. Towards the end.
No, is there any other method? See, we are teaching and they should practice.
Yes, sir. Okay, I got your question.
You got, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Is there any other methods are there to make the student to speak? They feel afraid of speaking English.
Yes.
Fear of inhibitions, fear of uncertainty, fear what others will think that they are clouded with the fear in their mind.
Actually, in the classroom, we all teachers use a lot of innovative methods, activities for teaching.
Yeah.
But we don't use much of innovation in assessment. We are not using much of innovations in assessment.
Okay.
So we the teachers, we need to use innovation in assessment, different ways of assessing students. That will help them to improve their skills. Skills. I mean, I just give you one example. In one particular class, I taught some years ago 20 years ago, I was teaching one particular class wherein we had students from below average level. And, I think there were about 21 students in that class. Some 4 or 5 were bright. All others were poor.
Okay.
What I did, I just made these 5 students as head of smaller groups. And then I asked those students to guide the students at the poor level.
Okay.
I failed.
Okay.
In another class, there were few, say in the same way, some 6 or 7 below average students, okay, and most of the other students were bright. So these 6 or 7 students were troubled. They had a lot of problem with their communication, right? Inhibition and so on. I use the same strategy. I divide the students into groups, and then I made these 6 students, the poor students, as leaders. And then I asked these students, I gave the activity to these poor students, and then asked them to conduct. And slowly, by the end of that particular semester, I could see these students improving because they came out of their inhibition. They started speaking to these people, and one of the students passed in that group. One of the students passed IELTS exam with the band 8. Excellent. With band 8, one of the students. So these are some of the innovation that we can do. Innovation in assessment. So if we do that way, I think we can see students improving.
Improvement may be there. Improvement may be there. Slight improvement may be there.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, they have their own inhibition, sir, because of the child level, in the school level.
So that's very, 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 very difficult, sir. Very difficult.
In the school level, they should develop. That is not there.
Yes.
Yes, any other question you can now ask? Yes.
How can we improve the role of reading and writing in English Literary Association apart from oration and essay writing? Sorry, sir.
Oration and essay writing. See, we used to have, in our college, we used to have different types of activities in the literary association. Say, for example, life and literature. We call it life and literature, wherein the students have to enact a play in 10 minutes. Say Hamlet. Hamlet, they have to enact in 10 minutes. They can take a scene and present or the whole play. And the whole, in one particular class, say 60 students. All 60 students should be involved in staging the play. So they have to have their own strategy to involve everyone. And we told the student that all students will be evaluated. Everyone in the group will be evaluated. And we also told them that they have to use the Shakespeare in English only. Say, for example, if they are giving a soliloquy, they cannot use any bit papers. They have to speak from their memory, and they have to use only Shakespeare language. You don't believe, almost all engineering students, some 20 branches of engineering students, did excellently well. In one of those sessions, reporters from Hindu, Dinamalar came to our college only to interview and know about this particular activity. So that became very popular. Students are very creative. Give them, and then we also have just a minute program, 60 seconds to fame. You know, you heard about 60 seconds to fame. In action TV, you would have seen that, 60 seconds to fame. In the same way, we have 1 minute performance. In one of the sessions, one student presented the poem Daffodils. in a beautiful way with an excellent expression, with a beautiful background he presented. All these inspired students very much. And the students, they involve themselves, they improve their language, they improve their organizational skills and so on. They started interacting with each other effectively and lot of communication took place. So these kind of innovative things can be done in the class.
Thank you so much, sir.
So we thank you for the instant answers. So now
Okay.
we
There are a
coming to
lot
the
of
end
questions
the
on
session.
the chat box.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. And we hope
Yes,
that you
sir.
will answer for each and every one of us. And now we are coming to the closure. Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. Now, I'd like to invite our professor, Mr. T. Shaker, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sri Saraswati
Okay.
Tyagaraja College, to present
Someone
the
is
vote of
asking,
thanks.
could you please send slides to my mail?
Sir, that will be sent, sir. You can send to us.
Okay.
We'll share in the group, sir. We'll share in the group. We'll do that, sir. We'll do that for you.
Shaker, sir, we invite you to present the vote of thanks.
Say, sir, 2 minutes.
Thank you.
2 minutes, sir. Then you can speak. I want to have some words with
And
audience.
management, as I told you already.
Yes, sir.
Course. The curriculum is there. The textbook is there. You can use it. It's a standard one that can be used in the classroom. There are 50 activities given for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. All these are prepared very carefully, spending a lot of research, using a lot of research and so on. So these can be easily used in the classroom. The management and engineering students will definitely improve.
Thank you, sir, for your answering the question. Sir, I personally thank you for being the resource person of this FTP, sir. Even though you are not well, you are able to present well, sir. Your presentation
I'm
was
fine.
very,
I'm fine.
Yes, sir. Your presentation was very well, and everyone
Yeah,
enjoyed much. And,
COVID wave is there everywhere. It is affecting people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, midst of this one, you are able to talk to us and you presented well, sir, and we were really enlightened. Thank you so much, sir, for taking part in this FTP. And sir was my head of the department when I was working at Karunya University. From sir, I have learned a lot of things, and this what I have learned from sir helps me a lot. Helps me a lot in after coming to this college. So I personally thanks her for I personally thanks her for being one of the mentors of me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, sir, you can please.
August gathering. Express my heartfelt gratitude to our Dean Academic Affairs for his guidance and support. Thank you, sir. I felt immensely happy in thanking our beloved participants from various institutions for the fourth day of this faculty development program jointly organized by Bharatiya University and Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College, Pollachi. I wholeheartedly thank for your active participation and spend your valuable time with us. Thank you all. I'm immensely happy in thanking our today's resource person, Dr. J. Sundar Singh Joseph, Managing Director, Sparkling Education, for having consented to be the resource person of this memorable FDP. Sir, certainly through your talk, we imbibed nuances of reading and writing. Thank you, sir. I place on record my thankfulness to our teaching fraternity for their untiring efforts towards the smooth conduction of FDP. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sekeshar. Now at this
Thank you,
juncture,
ma'am.
I would welcome, sir. Now at this juncture, I would like to thank each and every one of us for joining our session today. And I hope you'll all be in for the upcoming sessions too. And we are waiting for you people to log in on Monday too. We have the 5th day FTP program being organized by Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College and Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. And participants' query can be texted through the chat box, and sir would definitely respond to each and every one of us. Participants' feedbacks are highly appreciable, and we'll be sharing that shortly. We request you all to fill the same. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Link is shared now. You can fill and you can leave the room. Link is shared now. Feedback link is shared now. You can please fill. Tomorrow we don't have any FTP. Tomorrow we don't have FTP. You please join on Monday. If you have any questions, you can share your questions on WhatsApp group, and I'll take the questions to sir, and sir will answer, and the answer will be shared in the group once again.